So what's good, people? It's your boy, Big Chris, Compton Animator, here again with another Raw review on, what day is it? September 23rd, 2013. Pretty good show tonight. Let's see. I'm not going to talk about the whole show, but the opening segment was the 10 superstars or wrestlers, whatever you want to call them, that helped Daniel Bryan out on last week's Raw were standing on the ramp, and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon came out to the ring and were basically pumping their heads up full of, whatever ideas and stuff like that. It was a pretty cool segment. I like what Triple H and Stephanie did there, trying to blame everything that's going on in the locker room on Daniel Bryan and on the Shield, and saying that it's Daniel Bryan's fault that those guys aren't getting ahead and aren't will never be the face of the company. She even said to Zack Ryder that it was Daniel Bryan's fault, and we all know Zack Ryder is just a jobber, probably a lifetime jobber or whatever. So yeah, it was a pretty cool opening segment. Another good thing in the tonight was, let's see, Del Rio and Kofi Kingston's match, which started off slow, but really speeded up, kind of like, I would say, a third of the way through, and ended pretty cool. They had a really nice little match, and they worked well together. I would see probably in a month or so, I'd like to see Kofi Kingston going for the world title. I think that's a good spot for him, and I think, he can put on a good match. He can get the crowd behind him. He just needs a story behind him as well. So yeah, that was pretty cool. What else happened tonight? Randy Orton went against Rob Van Dam. They had an app thing tonight to say whoever they wanted to fight in this match. The match itself was okay, but the ending part where what's his name? Randy Orton went crazy and started just beating the hell out of Rob Van Dam was pretty good. I liked a lot of that segment at the end where, he just puts him on the top rope and just RKO's him off of that. I mean, RKO's him, but does the drop DDT off of that. That was pretty cool. What else happened tonight? What else was there? There was a lot of stuff that was happening tonight. Oh, the Wyatts had a segment going against the Primetime Players. An okay match. I like that Titus O'Neil got in and got to do a lot of his stuff tonight. Also, the end was pretty nice where Darren Young was going to, protect Titus, and then seeing Bray Wyatt come in, attack him, and, give him the Sister Abigail. So, I want more direction for the Wyatts, but for right now, I know they just don't know what to do with him yet, so they're just going to let him run through probably the tag teams or a few other wrestlers for now until they, I guess, get an idea of whatever they want to do with these guys. What else happened? Santino and Fandango had a match which really meant nothing. It even stopped the push for Santino, so I don't know what's going there, and the match was too long, so I didn't really like that. I think Del Rio had a match tonight. I'm not sure. But, yeah, he did something tonight. What else happened? Oh, I'll just go into this. The Shield did a promo tonight, basically talking about, whether or not they're getting bogged down or getting, pushed into this, the 11-on-3 elimination match being put on them. Whether or not Triple H and Stephanie are basically use them as a something to be blamed on for what Daniel Bryan's been doing to and just fuel for fire. And I like the promo that they cut. They really basically saying if we have to stand up and fight and do what's good for business, then we're going to do it. I like that anytime the Shield gets their little backstage promos, they do it cool. The 3-on-11 match was pretty nice. It started off pretty slow, but it's the whole WWE thing. They start off pretty slow, then build up most times. But it turned into a pretty good match. We got to see the first pin on Roman Reigns, It ended with it just being Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan and the Usos inside of the ring, and first time you see like the Shield at the end getting really, beat up, and the numbers game not working for them. So that was pretty good. For the last part of this review, if I can think, I did. Okay, the CM Punk had a segment tonight. Him and Paul Heyman. I'm glad I didn't forget this. CM Punk, they were in Chicago, so he had a good Chicago crowd tonight. CM Punk came out and he basically, said he's been beaten down for the past few weeks. The odds have been against him. He hasn't really won his pay-per-view matches, especially the last two. And, he's just been beaten down, beaten up. And it seems like, he should just give up. And I like how he played on the crowd, but also did it in an interesting way with, using his favorite team in his hometown, and saying the Blackhawks, we were down as a team. We were in the playoffs and Detroit was whooping our asses. We were down 3-0, but we came back, won 3 games, and then won it with the last one, and even went to overtime to win it. So I like all that. Then Paul Heyman came out on a Rascal scooter, and that was really funny. He was singing that New York song, "All Bury the News," whatever the song goes. So yeah, that was a pretty good segment right there. He came out and basically saying how he's the best in the world and he's better than CM Punk and all that stuff. It left to when Paul Heyman was getting ready to leave. His Rascal scooter wouldn't start, so then CM Punk came to attack him. And then Ryback and Axel attacked CM Punk, and CM Punk got some good licks in and was beating him up for a good minute. Even threw Axel into the display that they have on that stage, and did a dive onto the floor on Ryback, and it ended up with Ryback and Punk climbing up on this box, I guess that they put lights and whatever in, and Ryback throwing Punk off the box into a table. So yeah, that was a pretty good segment, and I even heard that after the night on the dark match, they did something where CM Punk came out and Jerry Lawler threw CM Punk a kendo stick, and he beat down those guys with the kendo stick and had a nice little end segment to let the crowd go home happy. So that was pretty cool to hear that and to see the CM Punk segment. I'm liking where the stuff is going. I think that's one of my favorite things that's been happening for the past couple months. The whole CM Punk stuff and Paul Heyman. That was pretty good. But the last thing I'm gonna get on is we had a Divas match right after that CM Punk match. And the Divas match was a 10 girls or whatever you want to call it Divas match, where it was 5 on one side, 5 on the other. This match saw the return to action of, I think her name is Nikki Bella and Tamina. And before the match, AJ Lee went to talk to Stephanie to get out of the match, and basically Stephanie kind of told her either you do this match or you get fired. And I like when AJ called her boss lady. So yeah, I'm gonna get on this match in a second, but that was AJ still, I really like her, and this is what pisses me off about what this match did. All 10 of these girls got less than 5 minutes in a match on a 3-hour Raw. This is pathetic. And I was on Twitter and just looking at a few of these ladies' tweets, and they seem not to care. They seem to be happy about this. I guess the Total Divas are just happy that they got their reality TV show, but the other 5 to 7 girls that's on this roster, the Divas that's on this roster that's not a part of the reality show, what are they doing? This is a match that ended with AJ being beat up and basically, her being pinned. And this is your champion. This is your diva champion getting pinned with one move, and that's it. By Brie Bella, nonetheless. This skinny, whatever you want to call her. You know, this is very pathetic, and I thought for a minute that the Total Divas thing was going to kind of push these ladies up to at least probably getting 2 segments a night, 2 matches a night. We was getting it right before SummerSlam and through SummerSlam, and right after SummerSlam they were getting more. AJ dropped a pipe bomb, and I thought, okay, we might get something now. They might do something with the division. And even in last week, it was a little bit something there with AJ, and Natalia. But this is your flagship show, and the 2 divas that are in the feud do nothing. You let Brie Bella get the pin here? What? This is just frustrating to me. It's stupid. And I don't think any of those ladies care. I think they're in contempt with it. They're very content. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Besides that, the rest of the show was good. AJ got her backstage segment, so I'm happy for her. I don't know what these other girls are going to do. AJ's getting a lot of TV time as far as, what she was doing earlier this year. She got a lot of TV time throughout the year. So, she's cool. Naomi and the rest of the girls and Natalia and all of them, especially girls like Alicia Fox and Layla and all the rest of them girls. I don't know what. I guess they're going to be on Superstars or NXT or whatever. To me, they should be fighting for more. So yeah, that's the end of my rant. Good show tonight. Like seeing Daniel Bryan on top, like the stuff happening with the Shield. I hope they don't play this these 10 guys going against the Shield thing off for too long. It will get, it worked for tonight, but I can see it getting a little boring. But yeah, thank you for watching. Find me anywhere on the net, BigChris145 or Compton Animator. And y'all peoples have a good night. Peace.